Right there.
Oh, I like this. Between two ferns.
Two ferns.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Film Hustlers. Hey, guys.
Hey, what's happening,
What's
y'all?
up, baby?
Oh, man, you don't get a mic. So today we have Kitt Hoover with us. Kitt, you're rowdy.
She was just saying that.
First of all, I like the Film Hustlers. Let me
Yeah.
in. I'm a hustler.
That's
I think
right.
that's it. Thanks for having me, fellas. This is so great.
Hey, our show is we've been, by the way, 5 seasons.
Congratulations.
This is our 5th season. We made a movie that we produced and Tootie directed, shot on film, raised all the money on the show.
What's the premise of this one?
Beautiful Darkness.
Yeah.
It's a crime drama about a hitman hiding out, and he gets discovered, and the guy who comes to kill him just watched his father die of dementia.
Yeah.
And let's just say he has a bag of tricks, and
You got to watch the movie.
you got to watch it.
Internal struggle. It's what I loved
Yeah.
about The Sopranos, right? With Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
Religious but doing bad things. Let's just brag about Tootie real quick.
Oh.
Watching him write, and you guys craft this up here, really in my office.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I love people creating great stuff. So congrats.
Yeah,
fellas.
thank you. I want to say something because I've been seeing you for years, right here at Access. You're an amazing host, but you have like this infectious, cool energy about you. Like no matter what happens, no matter where, like I could be having like the worst day and walk into this set, and you're like dancing around,
Yeah.
and you're really positive. Are you always that positive? Have you always like gone to work and just had the best time?
You know what? I gotta say, yes. I think when you're full of gratitude,
Yes.
you're wired that way. And I don't take any of this for granted. And it's funny you said that because I'm about to do this interview coming up with Melissa Etheridge. She talks about speaking to herself. And I thought to myself, do I speak to myself? And literally this morning, I woke up and looked outside. I was like, God, it's going to be a great day. And I didn't realize, I think I do that every morning when I wake up. I'm like, my eyes pop open. I'm like, let's roll. And so my husband likes to tease me. I think every morning growing up as a child, I came downstairs. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. And my mom, Bug, was already up. And I was greeted with a woo morning. And I'd have a chocolate milkshake. And I'm not kidding. So I think that's how I was born. Like, let's do this.
So you're wired like that.
wired
but
like
it's
this.
but it's so great to see someone and take that energy. You know, you're almost like an empath. Like all of a sudden I'm like up, I feel happy. Like, you know what? Life is great. And you really you project that, and it feels really good to be around
I was a
you.
little
It's
like
fun.
before we started this, I was like,
Yeah,
you know,
right, look at us
now.
now.
I'm like,
We're
now
all
I'm ready to
fired
go.
up.
Like I'm fired up. Just like listening to
y'all.
it. Yeah.
Well, it's so fun. Look at what we get to do. Also, I wonder if it's part of being a runner. I know, Tootie, your kids have gotten into running. I'm an endorphin chaser, right? So I think I get up. I'm very high energy, I guess, with everything. I'm naturally wired like this. And so is my dad's about to turn 90. My mom's about to turn 85. My brother and me. You put the four of us together. I honestly don't think as a child was ever a bad day. We had struggles and conflict in this, but it's how you approach it that I think is what comes out on the other side.
Yeah, but you're also like multi-talented. Here's the funny part. So I'm watching the Super Bowl, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and there you are on the Super Bowl whatever the pregame is, and you're like so energetic and fun, and you're a great interviewer, and you're interviewing all these football people. And I didn't realize that you came from sports.
First of all, thank you. You're one of the first people that reached out
I texted
after
you.
I did. You texted me, and it meant so much to me. And one thing I tried to do on that, because I came from sports, but I think a lot of times having a fun personality, people don't give you the credit you deserve for maybe also having substance. So it's been a funny thing in my career, right? Because you can be, both things are true. And I came from sports, and the funny story with that is I'm a runner. So I got a full scholarship to Harvard, but I turned that down to go to Carolina. And I'm only saying that because would I have been viewed differently if I had gone to Harvard, right? Because I'm such a jackass. You fellas know me. But also, you know what I mean? There's that other side. But sports have always been a huge part of my life. I played 8 sports growing up. Sports move me. It's there's something about it. I don't know. I'm a little meathead is what I think I'd describe myself. So ESPN, when I hosted Cold Pizza, it was a different muscle for me to stretch and interview athletes, which was so cool. But the Super Bowl, I said to myself for the 5-hour live pre-show with Mike Tirico throwing to me and everybody, I had to keep saying to myself, be calm, because I am so easily excitable and I go fast. I'm here. I was like, just slow the F down and take it in. And so, listen, I'm 53. I'm trying to learn to slow it down.
It
to
was
enjoy.
great. And a lot of times when you watch hosts on television, whether it's sports or not, I think the comfort that they have with another human being makes a big difference. And I think when people see you and they watch you and they like you, it's because you have that gift that you like to connect with other human beings. Not everyone does that. Not everyone wants to do that. You know, some people are like thinking about what they're supposed to be saying and how to get the most out of the interview. And you could tell that you're thinking about the other human being that you're interviewing, and that gives you a connection that people can see on from home when you're watching it at home. It was really cool to watch.
By the way, thank you for that. And I've been asked so long how I've done this for 30 years, and I honestly think the only talent that I truly have is being authentic and trying to be a good listener. So I don't know if you even notice on Access Hollywood, I never look at my cards. I want to be dialed in. When Tootie's talking about his movie, I want to be like, well, wait, what made this guy tick? Or what's going on with your kids? Or I want to be in the moment with everybody. So it's never about following what's there. It's about just being curious. And like, that's where I think the secret sauce comes from.
And that helps so much when you're a guest, to have somebody like that who's like, she looks you in the eye, she smiles at you, you know she's authentic, and she's asking real questions. She's not looking at a thing, reading, looking at you, reading, looking. Or like Lopez, who was the EP, who didn't even know the fucking storyline. He's like, so you get a bag of money and you're in the desert. I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, cut, hold on. He's like, okay, let's start over. Like, come on.
And then I was like, Tootie, this is a labor of love. Let's talk about the guy. I just want
it.
I
was
think
great.
too, I like everybody to shine. This word is funny, but I think I'm a natural fluffer. Like, I'm a fluffer. I love for everybody, whoever I'm with, if they shine, I feel so good, like I've done my job, including in my interview.
And I think that that's part of it. You know, you're listening, you got your zingers that come after whatever. So it's all connected, you know. But I want to say also that you're multi-talented. I mean, we did a movie in Nevada, and Mario said, hey, we should get Kitt into this part of Laurel Ann.
That's right.
You are so nice to me.
And you came out for the day, and I didn't know you that well, so I was like, oh, how's this gonna go, you know? And the character was a runner, right? Which was, did we set that up that way? No, it was just a coincidence.
I think y'all just added it in.
It was just, or we added in, but you were so fun. And I mean, that part in the movie, we had to cut most of it, but because there was there was
when you're
so
stretching,
much.
when you're doing your stretches and stuff in the coffee shop.
Wait, you got to tell everybody listening. The funny thing is, so I'm not an actor, right? By the way, I left.
Yeah, you are. But yeah, you are.
Yeah, you did a really good job for not acting.
I appreciate
you.
You
did a great job.
I was so nervous with Melissa Joan Hart directing and y'all there, and you were so nice to me. It was COVID, so I was just so excited to be out of the house. Like, I think I bear hugged and tackled y'all when I saw you. Yeah. And then I wanted to do a great job because Mario was so sweet to have me there, and he was so kind to try to help me. But what I didn't know, because I'm up for anything, so my mind is like, I'm just going to go in loose, and each time I'm going to do a different take. And what I didn't know about acting is, no, you have to do the same thing, so for different marks. So because we decided I'm going to be this sporty spice that I am, I'm stretching and kicking my leg and moving and grooving. And then they're like, all right, do it again. I'm like, I said to Mario, what did we just do?
Isn't that the take? Isn't that over? I actually have video of you guys outside, and he's stretching and telling you how to stretch in the scene. Yeah.
And you remember, was he a band teacher or a school teacher?
He was a school.
Music
he was a
teacher.
school principal. Yeah.
Principal. So why did I say, am I making you horny? There was something with he played the classical horn or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Tootie was like, cut, kid. Cut, Laurel Ann.
That's enough, Laurel Ann. That was good.
I was on such a high. After that, I just was left. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that was really."
That's
fun.
the complicated
Thank
part of
y'all for
acting,
that.
right? It's all about like when you lift your leg and put it up on the arm, like you have to do it on that word every time for the next whatever it was.
Mark,
and you were all over the place.
No one told me that. I was SNL live.
Yeah, you were live. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
That's
No, but
like
that was a lot of
eating
fun.
in a scene. Be careful. If you have to eat, you got to keep.
You got to keep.
You
eating.
either eat and spit out, but if you're smart, you're going to keep going until they get it.
Oh my gosh! Well, I am hooked.
You say you're not an actress, but you're clearly talented in that area, and we should have you on the next movie for sure. And
well, you're producing, fool, so set it up.
Yeah, exactly. And the work that you do on Access. I mean, to have the kind of longevity that you've had in this business is not easy. I think that that goes to what we were talking about before. You have like that energy and you have that connectivity and you love humans, and you could tell because a lot of people aren't in the business. You know, they show up on a show and then they're gone after 6 years or 10 years or whatever it is. And you've been there. What do you think? Like, what would you give as advice? Because the landscape's changing, right? I mean, it's not what it was when you started.
Yeah.
There was less shows. There was only a few entertainment shows, or maybe two. Who knows how many? My wife was started at Entertainment Tonight.
She started Access Hollywood.
She did. She was at Entertainment Tonight for 9 years, and then I don't know who decided to make Access, but they were like, we want our Entertainment Tonight. So they stole her and Jim Van Messel and a couple of other producers from Entertainment Tonight, and they came up with the name and came up with Access Hollywood.
Wow.
Yeah, so they launched it. But it was different back then. Think about it. There was only Entertainment Tonight, and then Access was the second one to show
I remember.
up. Right?
Oh, yeah. It was destination TV for me. I loved watching these shows. It was the only way to get your entertainment news, which
that's
now,
right.
of course, has changed.
I loved the weekend show. The
loved
weekend show
it.
was an hour.
So much fun.
It gave you so much stuff. What would you say to people that want to get into the entertainment area of hosting and stuff like that?
Well, first of all, I feel like by the time I got into it, it's like me with my real estate. I buy high and sell low. It's just always how I've been. So I feel like I got into this business right when it was all of a sudden, like when your wife got into it, it was the high life. I heard it was like, car service for everywhere, bottled first class everywhere. Now, right, we're just sort of staying afloat. Not that the content's not great. It's just that you can get your content at a moment's notice on your phone, and viewing patterns have changed. I think the pattern for staying on any job, and that goes to all of us in this room, I think if you also have outside interest, at least if you want to be on-air talent, my family, I don't even think they know what I do. So I love that. Like, no one gives a what that I do this. So staying humble, getting other interests, doing that. And then when you come in, just work hard and be nice to people. I always get baffled when people compliment me. Like, God, Kitt, you're so nice. I'm like, what do you want? Like, why would you compliment me on that? You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's a funny thing.
Why wouldn't you be, right? Yeah, why wouldn't
like,
you be?
It's when somebody says, like, he's a great dad. I'm like, well, he should be a great dad. Like, you know what I mean?
I remember one time Kitt said, "Yeah, I went from here to home. I'm doing dirty dirty laundry, and making dinner just like that."
Truthfully.
Yeah.
Tony and I were on the red carpet. I forgot which one it was. Drinking tequila, having so much fun. I'm glammed up. I thought I looked really fiery that night. I had my padded bra. I was ready to roll. My hair extensions, big lashes, feeling foxy. I literally walk in. And I have two kids off in school, so it's my husband and son. And they're like, "Hey," they're like, "Oh my God, you look great. Can you make Parma Rosa?" Like something. I'm like, dude, it's like nobody cares. Yeah.
And do you think it's easier to get into the business now, or harder to get into the business now? Like, were there more opportunities for you, or if you were the young, brand new Kitt on the scene, would it be harder now? Do you think, or easier?
Now everybody is sort of on air, right? You can be on air on your own phone and do it. So it's just a different niche. I'm probably older in my ways of thinking. The way we went around things were very old. Funny for me, though, Mark and Tony, thinking about it, I got hired for Access Hollywood at age 40. I'm now 53. That didn't... Like, I don't even know how to stand right. You know what I mean? Like, that's a funny hire. And so it just goes along with my whole mojo that I feel like I'm never like really the first choice, but once I get there, like, oh man, she's pretty cool. Like, that's kind of how my whole life has gone. Do you know my high school story?
No.
I think I told Tony this.
I was so excited to interview you because I don't know enough about you, to be honest.
Quickly, so you'll just love this. So, grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. My brother and I are huge athletes. There's a Catholic school down the street, Marist School. It goes from 7th grade to 12th grade. Really hard to get into. But if you have a sibling, it's the Catholic way. Like, you're pretty much guaranteed in. So my brother goes in 7th grade. He plays 3 sports. He becomes president of the class. It's a home run. So I'm like, yep, Hoover name. I go to 6th grade. I'm at public elementary school, this awesome school, Montgomery, telling all my friends, like, peace out. Love y'all. Let's stay in touch. I'm going to Marist. So I take the test, whatever it was to get in, like the, what's it called, Tony?
Entry.
Yeah, the entry, but it's not the SAT, ACT, whatever it is for high school. Clearly, I don't test well. So, do this test, and I wait for the mail to come that day. Everybody knows when the acceptance letters are coming out. So my mom, dad, and brother are waiting at the top of my driveway. I stroll down so confident. I have my Marist sweatshirt on. I'm like, boom, baby. I get to the mailbox, and I pull out the envelope. Y'all, it is so thin. I was like, wee, shit. I was like, shaking that thing like, this ain't good. And I'm like, what in the world? I open it up, and it said, Kitt, like, thanks so much for applying, Kitt Hoover, but basically thanks, but no thanks. Y'all, I was like, what in the world? Like, I'm going to be so great at this school. How do they not know? So my parents are like, all right, well, we'll try again next year. And I could not believe it. So I'm in 6th grade. So later that day, I don't tell anybody. I lace up my running shoes. I jog a couple of miles up to the school. I'm sweaty. I knock on the rectory door. I ask to speak to Father Conson, who's now Bishop Conson. He comes down, and there's this like sweaty little girl with like crumpled. I had won a road race in my town because I was the only one in my age group. So I had there was like a picture in the paper, like the local paper. And I was Eldridge Elf in my 5th grade play, not the lead, but still it was like in the paper. So I had those clippings, and I said, Father Conson, I said, hi, I said, my name is Kitt Hoover, and I said, I just want to introduce myself. Clearly, I don't test well, but y'all, I think I'd be a great addition to your school. And he was like, what is happening? And so he's like, sit down and tell me about yourself. So I told him whatever I had. Long story short, they let me in 8th grade. It was a home run for me at Marist. I was voted most athletic, senior superlative, homecoming queen, blah, 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 student body president. And it just was like a great fit. And they started doing interviews for students after that. And at senior graduation, he told that to the graduating class. But I went back for the commencement speech recently, and I told the students that story. I said, y'all, I almost didn't even get in this place. And the lessons I learned there were a couple. The world owes you nothing. Yep. There are no guarantees. And I also learned another important lesson. Don't be a sheep. Find a way. It was the art of the hustle. Like, you told me no, and I appreciate that, but let me tell you why a yes is good, right? And no one's going to do that for you in life. And I feel like it's the same thing with every job I've had to keep going. Like, no one wants to let me in, fellas, and I just keep showing up, including at Access Hollywood.
That's funny. So, but you did the pizza show, the morning pizza. Yep. You did Road Rules.
So I was one of the very first reality shows out there. So let sit. Like, that wasn't even a thing. I was selling copiers for Eastman Kodak. #1 copier salesman in Orlando, Florida.
I believe it.
There you go.
I sold the 2085. That thing could collate, staple, and shuffle like you've never seen. That was right out of college. I was living in Aspen, working for Barbie Benton. I've had the wildest life. So I'm working for Hugh Hefner's ex as a nanny, and that's for a different day. And my parents said, I'm not impressed. Like, I'd already graduated. That's all they had to say to me. So I got my first job selling copiers for Kodak, making, like, right out of school, this would be in 1992, I want to say like $50,000, company car, and I was great commissions or whatever. I was the #1 whatever salesman, and I hated it. I just was like, I know I'm good at this, but I don't want to do this. I would just take them into the Orlando Magic game and drink beer. And like, then I was like, you want a copier? Like, oh, and so I give my parents credit because I was actually making a lot of money for that time, but I didn't like it. So I quit and moved to LA and found out there was this show, a reality show, where you could live in a house and they would pay you. But I said to my friend that told me about it, she's like, it's called Real World. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not an actress, although Mark thinks I am.
I think you are.
He's a big producer.
But if you think how funny reality TV is so big, back then, nothing. I'm like, she's like, no, you're just yourself. And I was like, huh? So I made an audition tape, called 411. And they said, a recording said, if you want to be a contestant on Real World, make a VHS tape, your name, your age, where you're from, and why you should be chosen. So I do it and talk about selling copiers and wearing pantyhose and the egg and how it get me out of this place. Mail it in. Don't hear anything. And then a couple months later, I called and they heard my accent and they said, is this Kitt Hoover? And I was like, what? I was very Southern at the time. Hadn't lived out of the South. They said, we've been trying to track you down. You gave no forwarding information. I'm like, oh, shit. So anyway, long story short, they then auditioned me for Road Rules. Within a month, I was in the Winnebago, and my life changed forever.
Wow, that's amazing.
There was no such thing as reality TV. Like, we didn't know what we were doing.
Well, right. And you sent in a tape?
A VHS
tape.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
With no contact info.
No contact.
But think about how easy it is to contact people today. Like, right? You can. There's no way you don't contact.
There's no way you don't contact.
Yeah.
And then the funny story about that part of my commencement speech. So now I've made it, right? The show is a massive hit. And so I'm like, well, here I come, Hollywood. Nobody's calling. You know what I mean? Right. So then it's, again, back to high school, the art of the pivot, like find a way, what's next? And so I think my next job after that was, I did American Journal. And then I went on to do Fox News Channel. And then I did ESPN Cold Pizza. And then I did Shaq Versus, and then I guess Access Hollywood.
That's
and the
amazing.
View in between there. And I still get calls from anybody on any reality show, but especially back in the day, like, hey, Kitt, this is Sylvie from season 27 of The Challenge. Like, can you help me? And by the way, I do try to help everybody, but it is funny how, I mean, who wouldn't want to be in our business? I feel very fortunate. It is really fun and exciting and cool. And we meet great people every day.
Yeah. Well, you were saying, like, even on your podcast, what's the name of the podcast?
The Coop with Kitt.
The Coop with Kitt. I'm excited about listening to it ever since you
honestly,
advertised it.
Promise me, the three of you will dial in And by the way, my 90-year-old dad listening is like, it's not really for me. So we'll let Bucky go outside. Isn't that great? He was like, it's not really me. But I think y'all will enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm
You
looking
didn't
forward to it.
I'm not impressed with that one.
You know what's great though? No, last time he came to visit, he's still practicing law at age 90.
Wow.
He teaches at inner city
What?
schools. He still works out every day. He's fascinating. At 75, he rode his bike from Savannah to Santa Monica.
What?
And my brother and I are like, is this a good idea? And he's written a book. Like, he's a total academician, intellectual thinker, And so when he comes out here, I'm like, Dad, do you want to come to the show? He's like, look, just put your head down, keep working hard, be kind to everybody. And he's like, but it's not really my cup of tea.
But I was going to say, like, you even on your podcast, when you meet people, you become friends with them.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Like, how do you become friends
What do you
with?
mean? You're sitting right here. Can't you
Like,
see?
now we're friends
I
for
can
life. Now
see
I'm
it.
coming
Well,
to your
people
house
that are
for
listening
dinner.
don't know.
Well,
Like,
they can hear. They can feel it.
how does that? Well, no, it's true. You do have that personality, but what is it that you just connect with people and you guys become friends?
I think it's how with anybody, I really want everybody to do great. So anybody that comes on the podcast, when they leave on a high, I feel so great that they just felt awesome about the interview. I'm not a gotcha. I don't want anything that's going to make you feel weird or bad. Now, that doesn't say when I've interviewed people in the past, like especially when I worked in news, like if I needed to get a story, I could get all that. But my natural inclination, again, back to the fluffer, I want to feel great. If I'm interviewing Tootie, I want to know about your movie, know about your kids, know about your kid, the one that's running, how he's doing, your daughter, your son. Like, I love people to be happy with their life.
She
really
genuinely
neat.
does. Like when I come in, she'll ask questions. She's like, "Hey, did he run this week? How'd he do?" And I tell her the time. Oh, that's she's.
And his times are great. He's got to lower those shoulders.
Yeah,
Tap in. How many kids do you have?
I have two. Me and my
And
wife
how
have
old?
two. My son Cash is 16 years old, and my daughter's 20.
20. Okay, so where's the 20-year-old? Are they in the business?
Yeah, no. He's in high school.
Yeah,
clearly
16.
in high school, and she's at home hanging out.
Oh my God.
She's taking a break.
It's funny with that age because I have 22, 21, and 17 now. And
Busy years.
busy years, yeah. And when they do well, it's awesome. And my oldest got this job in New York. I shouldn't even say on this thing, but a great job. She got it all on her own. It's in our industry. And it was very important to her to do that because I look back, she's probably, no one knew the high school story, but then they heard me practicing my commencement speech, whatever. And so that drive, I said, stay hungry. No one wants a self-entitled blah, blah girl, right? Yeah. You grew up better than I did and whatever, but make your own way. Be hungry. I love the word hungry.
Well, I don't know. There's not a lot of hungry kids, and mine are two of them. But
They're hungry for the rainbow bagel.
they're hungry for the rainbow bagel. They're
Get
hungry
rainbow
for
bagel?
other things. I got to bring them back. Bring back the rainbow bagel.
Yeah.
But and you're still running?
So I still run. So at 53, I haven't slowed down at all. I'm trying to shift what I do. I hear more weights. And then my knees start hurting at 30 minutes. So I used to be able to, I could run a marathon effortlessly. Now I can't. Like at 30, I laugh with my brother. I flew home last year for my dad's 89th birthday, July 4th, to run the Peachtree Road Race. And he and I used to we were seated runners. It was like the biggest deal. And we're running 5:30 clips, like just hauling ass. He ran at University of Florida. Unbelievable runner. He calls me Junior. He's 6'2". And my brother, God, he's just the greatest. And so this time I fly in. I'm clearly dehydrated. We went out, had a couple cocktails the night before. Now we're running like such a slow pace. And we saw this guy. It's really hot, dressed up as a full Abe Lincoln. And he's like, Junior, if goddamn Abe Lincoln passes us, and the whole crowd's yelling like, Abe, Abe. He's like, this is embarrassing, Junior. Like, and I'm like about to puke. And he's like, anyway, so yeah, my parent. There's no hand holding. Like, you got to go.
At your peak, how many miles would you run a week?
So in college, it was 70 miles a week. We're long distance runners effortlessly, but when you build it up right there. So that was. So I went to college and I did cross country, indoor and outdoor track. And in high school, I won 6 state titles. I won the mile and 2 mile. 10th grade, 11th, and 12th grade in high school.
That's a lot of running.
So it was great. But then you get to college. The only reason I was sharing that, not to brag, everybody's a state champion, and wow, are they.
Everyone's the best,
Everybody's
right?
the best.
Yeah.
And so for me, I loved playing all the sports. I just happened to be running. I could tap in. And so just think if you can hurt more than the next person and I can just take my body to that place. My dad's nickname for me growing up was Junkyard Dog from the Jim Croce song, which I loved. But he's like meaner than a junkyard dog. He's like, you can go to that spot. So when I got to college, there was so much beer and boys and fun that I lost a little. I didn't want to hurt as much as I did in high school to push.
Yeah, you want to have fun. But like I was watching the Olympics the other day, and they had like the 5-mile run or whatever. You know, once they're done, they're not breathing that hard.
Yeah.
They were running full sprint for like, I don't know, 5 miles.
It's incredible.
And then they're not breathing hard. I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah, it's just my heart rate is so low.
When you're running, you mean?
Well, even when you stop, because when you're a long distance runner, you settle into like a certain pace and there's just something with your body that does it.
That's good for your mind.
It's good for your mind.
Yeah, good
it's
for your
where
life.
it's my religion, it's my therapy, it's where I solve all the world's problems. Then my ADHD kicks back in and I'm like, squirrel, let's go swimming. Cannonball.
All right, so here's what people want to know.
Yes.
You're on Entertainment Tonight. No, you're not. You're on Access Hollywood.
But a lot of people confuse it. They'll come up to me. They're like, love you on ET. And I say, thank you, baby.
Oh, you're on Access Hollywood, and you do a variety of things. You do the Olympics, you do red carpets, you do Oscars, you do Emmys, right? You do a lot of stuff. Of all of those, what's your favorite?
Gosh, it's hard to say. I think if I really looked at it, red carpets are my least favorite because no one's authentic. It's not their fault, but they've got 30 seconds to talk to you. They got to do the next one. And back to our point of being present where I am, if I'm talking to you, Tootie, and Brad Pitt comes behind you, I'm not going to rap you if you're in the middle of a sentence. Like, I'm not made like that. I want to hear your whole thing, and then I get yelled at, like, you just missed Brad Pitt. You know, I'm not good at the frivolous, look at that, and then you're on to the next. So red carpets are hard for me. Although Mario's brought tequila a couple times, and I'm better with a little tequila.
Casa Mexico tequila.
Yes, this is good, Casa Mexico. And then the sports, I always just love. Like the Olympics, it's like a fish to water. Yeah, it's easy for me. Yeah.
What do you cover when you're at the Olympics? The Olympics or the celebrity
best.
event?
I give Access credit. So I've been here 15 years now. No one covers them better, I think. And now what I've learned is everybody is covering it how Access Hollywood is done years before I even got here, which is they will get the mom freaking out watching her gymnast daughter go, and that becomes a story. They get the story of the story that everybody's talking about, that as a viewer you like, or the human interest behind what makes the athlete tick. And what I like about the Olympics is it's their one moment for glory. They've worked the whole year for this one moment. And I just think that's representing our country. A whole lifetime, to your point, Tony. Yeah. And a lot of them with no money, no means, right? You are grinding it out and very few hit. And so I love that kind of pressure.
That hurt you were talking about? They continue it.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean?
They continue, and they can do that. And I don't know. I like going for that one goal. Now everything is so monetized, it kind of bums me out. Don't even get me started on NIL and college sports. But back in the day, you think about it. I don't know if y'all saw the Caitlyn Jenner doc or Bruce back when she was Bruce.
Yeah.
I don't tread lightly here. But Bruce had no money and was like living in a condo training with his dog. And that's the kind of, Rocky was my favorite movie growing up.
Yeah.
Rocky 1, where he didn't win but went the distance. I love all that stuff.
Underdog. All heart.
Kind of all heart, like, right? And now it's a little more money. And I've gotten softer at my older age too, but I like that.
It's amazing.
Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard Dog. Isn't that
Dog.
funny? And I loved when he called me that. Looking back, my friends are like Rainbow and Pooh Bear. And I'm like, Junkyard Dog. And keep in mind, freakishly small, like with a giant head. Like I was odd. Yeah, I was very tiny.
Holly Hunter style.
You're like my son Leo. Leo's the same, but he's just like that. You will not. There's one kid who could beat him. There's in his age in the nation, and he's on that guy's tail. Like they're buddies too. But he gets so frustrated and so
he'll beat him.
Yeah, he will. He'll get there.
Draft off of him, and then
but
he'll
he's
get him.
little too.
He's little.
And I watch him, man, and he's like a specimen.
That's cool.
He's
and
broken all kinds of
records. For y'all
records.
with your daughters, I will say, my dad's belief in me, way back to Junkyard Dog, and then through all my sports, he's always celebrated my rowdiness, my spirit, my toughness, my athleticism, my kindness, all of it. But for a dad to do that is so cool. And at a race, he would just look at me and say, tap in now. I don't know what it was about that, him saying it, that I just loved it. And in high school, I recently was cleaning out our garage. I have probably 50 letters from guys in high school that hand wrote to me, all like my best friends from the football and baseball and basketball team. And what's cool about it is they were writing me notes, not sexual or you're so hot, dude. Not that I am. Maybe there was nothing to write on that note. But what was cool about it is they were writing like, Kitt, the time is now. We are so proud of you. Represent Marist. Tap in. War fucking eagle. Sorry for the F-bomb, Mom. Like that. So I've always been empowered by men my whole life. And I just think that's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've had a really amazing career, but clearly it's because of your grit. You know?
Yeah. Right? Which isn't that funny that I was brought up celebrating that, and it happens over and over. And I think the other thing as a woman that's helped me is just not taking yourself so seriously, right? It's like I've never cared about looks. If you watched Road Rules and you saw me, they literally was like the jolly fat one. The joke was they're like the little one's getting bigger by the second. I lost my neck. I ate my way through the 42 states.
Did you gain weight on the thing?
Oh my God, I gained almost 40 pounds for real.
What?
Yes. And by the way, loved it. I was like, we were sponsored by Power Bar and Taco Bell. Yeah. I'd have 3 Power Bars before breakfast. You know how many calories that is now? And then hit Taco Bell and drink 12 Budweisers. And I just remember like I got home and my parents were like, holy cow.
Hey,
Kool-Aid.
Dad was like, tap in. Double tap in.
No, you know what's great? We laugh now. They said, when you got home behind your back, we were like, whoa. But they never said anything to my face. So like I knew when I tried to put my pants, I'm like, whoa, these are tight. Like I have to go to the
Were you not running? No
but
running?
I never cared. No, because we were on the road. But I think I got some workouts in. But I mean, I love beer. So I was just pounding beer and Taco Bell. And, you know, you're in a Winnebago. And so, but I love the joke. They're like, God, the little one's getting bigger by the moment. I was like, what up, Nogales, Arizona? We like falling out of the Winnebago.
Was that a lot of fun, though?
The best.
Yeah.
And literally, I had no neck. Oh, it was so great.
My God.
So I told my daughters, they're in college, I said a couple rules with them. When in doubt, go out. You're in college one time. You got to get great grades or try your hardest, but just make it count. Please go out. Please eat late night food. Do not worry about your body. Work out when you can, but you got one life. If you don't come back beer fat swollen, Mom is not impressed. I'm serious. Like you're in college once. Like have fun.
No,
I love that. I'm going to change my conversation with my son.
Yeah. And can I tell you the weirdest? They are both Dean's List, which I knew Dean Smith. I don't know Dean's List, but I'm not the brightest bulb. But I didn't put that pressure on them. They've done that themselves. I said, when in doubt, go out, make it count. Make the best friends you have. Please go out all the time when you can. Like, when else do you have 4 years to figure out kind of what you want to do and who your friends are and who you are? And like,
go to college. Guess what? We get to pay for it all. And you get to have great time, get good grades, chase skirt, the whole thing, whatever you want to do. Enjoy it.
So when I go back for Parents Weekend, the problem is, I love beer. So the smell of that like beer in college, like my husband's like, please,
your mouth is watering.
Do not bring out Fran the Van. Like I said, Fran the Van. Forget Frank the Tank. Fran the Van. I was anchor man on our chug team in college. I beat out my friend Buddha. Back in the day, I could funnel 3 beers at once. So I was telling somebody the story, and my husband's like, "Yeah, that's just not cute."
Dude, do you not? Is she not a movie like her? This
the little girl all sweaty with the. Yeah. Look, I was in this. I was in this. Yeah. Please come and sit down and talk to
3
me.
beers.
Yeah, Father comes
3 beers.
3 beers in one.
Yeah.
Again, Frank the Tank, Fran the Van, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it was." My dad's thing was run your own race, be an original. I just was never like the other girl in that way, and he never wanted a Southern debutante or any of that. He's like, you don't even have to ever get married if you don't want to. He was like, you do you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But for the South, that was a really big deal.
Yeah. Well, we need to pay some bills. So I'm going to say we are sponsored and partnered with extrememusic.com. For years, they've supported us from the beginning of the podcast, and they're the best music library in the business. They handle all types of music, composers from all over the world, and it's all loaded onto this perfect website that you can use and find music for your movies, for any format of movie or television show you're doing.
Or your podcast.
Or your podcast. Or your podcast. Yeah, extrememusic.com. Yeah. They are the best in the business. And we use them on all our movies all the time. Everything we do, whatever I do, it's always Extreme Music. So thanks, Extreme Music, for being with us. Russ Emanuel for creating a great website and for supporting us.
Shout out.
Shout out to them, yeah. Your career's been amazing, but it's clearly driven by your personality, by your grit, by wanting to have a good time and wanting to connect with others. I think that's kind of, a lot of people listen to our show to kind of get an idea of what they want to do and how they want to get started. I think we've never had a guest on like you. I mean, we've had a lot of interesting guests, but we've never had a guest like you that really is driven, her career and her, because you're the same person on TV than you are in your real life. And that's hard to find. A lot of people get on TV and they're different when they get out, when they check out, right? It's a different human being. So it's kind of cool that you have made all this happen positively with your family behind you and then supporting your kids and then continuing to do your work. Are you friends with the people that you work with here at Access?
I would think so. Yeah. I don't know how to differentiate that between again, to sort of being authentic in who you are. So we spend so many hours here that I would say, yeah, these are all my friends.
That's so cool.
There's so many that have come and gone. And what's interesting, I think anywhere I've gone, I'm friends with all those people. And I've worked at so many places because all the shows end and I've kept in touch with everybody. Sort of like in my real life, like I still keep up with all my elementary school friends, all those Montgomery Mustangs, and all my high school friends and college friends who you meet along the way, right? It's like, I always say to my kids too, it all matters. It's all one thing. And I think kindness, it's such a dippy word, but like not even kindness, just being human to everybody. A funny story about that, and this isn't why you do it, but when I started at Fox News Channel, I was doing a network show for Roger Ailes called Fox Files, and I was the young reporter, and those are some stories. They had me covering first-time female porn director, so I was on a porn set.
Oh, wow.
Y'all, I'd never even seen a porn.
I can't see you on that.
I'd never even seen a porn. Oh, my God.
So tell me what it's like.
I got to tell y'all that story. That's another one. But the whole point of telling you this is that there was a PA at the time. So I was one of the on-air talents with Chris Cuomo, and I forgot who else was on. And there's this guy, Brent Montgomery, who was a PA there with Colby Gaines, his friends. And they were just my friends, right? And they were the PAs, and they were great. And so I got married that year, and they were like, can we come to Atlanta? We got to hook up. Your friends are hot. And I was like, totally. And they're like, we'll film your wedding. I'm like, so they drove down. Long story short, Brent Montgomery now runs Wheelhouse Productions. He did Pawn Stars. He's one of the biggest deals in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And like, I'm so proud. I didn't even know that. I was like, that he's become. So it's just neat to watch everybody do their thing.
Yeah. You're still a baby, but what do you see in the future for yourself? Like when you imagine what the next 10 years are going to be like, do you see it here? Are you going to branch out? Will there be other things you're doing in addition to this? Like, what do you see?
Well, since you offered me my new movie role, I see movie star potential.
Oh yeah, besides that, because you're getting that.
Thanks for saying still a baby, because I love aging. Like I'm 53. Maybe it goes back to that old thing, like always like a late bloomer. But I honestly feel like I haven't even hit my stride with what I want to do. And now I've got my son's going to be a senior, and he could have gone to college freshman year. That kid is so capable. And I don't get sad when they go to college. It's like I call it bird launching. Like it's not empty nest, it's bird launching. Like when they're happy and thriving and kicking ass, like I get even higher than I naturally am. So for me, I can't wait. So doing the Coop with Kitt, where I'm learning so much from these incredible badass women, like truly learning. Like I find myself quoting them and really thinking awesome thoughts that they've said. I want to develop more great stuff that I'm interested in. I'd love to work more with NBC Sports. I really would love to look more into the acting thing, because I think that could be really interesting and fun for me to do. So just more content, more feel-good stuff that feels good for me. And I have so much more energy now that I even did back with all my babies. So
yeah, that's amazing.
Hadn't hit my stride, Mark and Tim.
Times have changed. You can work for a long time now in this business. But you're a real pleasure to know and to watch work. I come here a lot and I see you doing your thing all the time, and you have such fun energy, and I can see why you're super successful. I think people could learn a lot from you. I think they should listen to your podcast, The Coop with Kitt.
Melissa Etheridge tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Somebody bring me some water.
Yeah, grab that thing, and we'll listen to that. But thank you for being on. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
You guys, same time next week?
Yeah, let's do it again.
Week. Part 2. I want to hear what the father said in the interview.
Thank you.
I got to give you that. That's
Thank
great.
you for listening to Film Hustlers, and we'll see you next time.
The Hustlers. Thanks,
Hustlers.
boys.
Thank you.
Guys, that was so fun.